The photography world is buzzing with excitement, but behind closed doors, some professionals are worried, and for good reason. The upcoming Fujifilm X-T6 might just change everything we know about hybrid cameras. But there's one controversial feature that's dividing the photography community. Stay with me, because in this video, I'm going to reveal why this camera could either be Fujifilm's greatest triumph or their biggest mistake. In this comprehensive breakdown, we'll explore the rumored specifications, potential release date, and most importantly, that one controversial feature that's making waves in the photography community. Whether you're considering upgrading from your current setup or simply curious about where camera technology is headed, this video will help you make an informed decision. Before we dive deep into what could be the most significant camera release of 2025, take a moment to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Trust me, you'll want to stay updated, especially with what I'm about to share about this camera's groundbreaking artificial intelligence capabilities. Let's start with what might be the most impressive spec on paper: the 40-megapixel X-Trans CMOS 5 HR sensor. But here's where things get interesting. While it may seem like the same sensor as the X-T5, sources suggest Fujifilm has made some significant improvements to the dynamic range. How significant? Well, let's just say that if the rumors are true, we might be looking at the first APS-C sensor to truly challenge full-frame in low-light performance. The real game-changer, though, it's the new X Processor 6. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's just another incremental upgrade, right? Wrong. This processor isn't just about faster speeds. It's about something much more controversial: artificial intelligence integration that's making some photographers uncomfortable. But more on that in a moment. Let's talk about autofocus, because this is where things get really interesting. The X-T6 is rumored to feature over 500 phase detection points. But that's not the impressive part. What's turning heads is the new artificial intelligence-powered subject recognition system. Imagine never missing focus on a bird in flight, not because of your skill, but because the camera is literally predicting where the subject will be before it gets there. But here's where we need to pause and address the elephant in the room. This level of artificial intelligence assistance is raising serious questions in the photography community. Is it making things too easy? Are we letting computers take over the artistic process? These are questions we'll explore in depth later in this video, but first, let's look at the video capabilities that are making cinematographers sit up and take notice. The X-T6 is rumored to offer 6.2 thousand video at 30 frames per second. That's impressive, but what's really catching attention is the unlimited recording times, thanks to a completely redesigned heat management system. As someone who's had to deal with overheating issues during crucial shoots, this could be a game changer for event photographers and videographers. Speaking of game changers, let's talk about the new stabilization system. Fujifilm has apparently achieved up to 8 stops of stabilization with select lenses. Think about that for a moment. That's nearly 2 stops better than what we currently have in the market. Imagine shooting handheld at 1-second shutter speeds and getting tack-sharp images. But before we get to that controversial artificial intelligence feature I mentioned earlier, the one that's making some professional photographers nervous about their future, let's take a moment to understand why Fujifilm chose to implement these specific upgrades and what it means for the future of photography. Now, let's talk about what might be the most significant advancement in the X-T6 and why it's causing such heated debates in photography forums. Fujifilm has apparently developed something they're calling AI-assisted editing tools with in-camera RAW processing. But this isn't your typical RAW converter. Sources suggest this system can analyze your shooting style over time and begin to predict your editing preferences. Imagine taking a photo and having the camera automatically apply your signature editing style, perfectly tailored to the scene. Some are calling it computational creativity, but others are worried it might lead to the homogenization of photographic style. The system reportedly goes even further with its new Eterna Plus film simulation. Unlike traditional film simulations, this one actually adapts to the scene you're shooting, analyzing elements like facial features, lighting conditions, and even the emotional content of the image. Think about that for a moment. A camera that doesn't just capture what you see, but understands what you feel. Now, I know what many of you are thinking. Is this still photography, or are we letting artificial intelligence take over the creative process? It's a valid concern, and one that deserves serious consideration. But here's my take, and feel free to disagree with me in the comments below. Photography has always been about tools. From the first light meters to modern autofocus systems, every technological advancement was met with resistance. But ultimately, these tools didn't replace creativity, they enhanced it. The question isn't whether artificial intelligence will replace photographers. It's how we'll use it to push our creative boundaries even further. Let's look at some numbers that might change your perspective. The new X processor 6 isn't just faster. It's capable of processing 120 billion operations per second. That's double what the current generation can handle. But raw power isn't everything. It's how Fujifilm is using this power that's interesting. The new Pixel Shift multi-shot mode can now create 160 megapixel images. But here's the clever part. It uses artificial intelligence to detect and correct any movement between shots, effectively eliminating the need for a tripod. This could be revolutionary for architectural and landscape photographers who often work in challenging conditions. Now, before we get to the price, let's address the elephant in the room: battery life. The new NPW235S battery is rated for 600 shots. But early reports suggest it could go even further in real-world use, thanks to new power management algorithms. This might not sound exciting, but ask any wedding photographer about battery anxiety, and you'll understand why this matters. So, what's all this innovation going to cost? The rumored price is $1,999 for the body only. Yes, that's a $200 increase from the X-T6's launch price. But considering the technological leap, especially with the artificial intelligence features, it might be more reasonable than it first appears. The expected release date? Early to mid-2025, which brings us to an interesting point. With Sony and Canon both rumored to have major releases around the same time, Fujifilm's timing couldn't be more crucial, but based on what we're seeing, they might just have an ace up their sleeve. Here's what it all comes down to. The X-T6 isn't just another iteration. It's a glimpse into the future of photography. Whether that future excites or concerns you probably depends on how you view the role of technology in art. But one thing's certain, the photography landscape is about to change dramatically. What do you think about these artificial intelligence features? Are they the future of photography, or are we losing something essential in the process? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you want to see how these features compare to the current generation, check out my review of the Fujifilm X-E5. It's linked in the end screen right now. And if you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Because trust me, when we get our hands on the actual camera, you won't want to miss what we discover. Remember, photography is about capturing moments, telling stories, and expressing your unique vision. Whether you do that with artificial intelligence assistance or purely manual controls, what matters most is the image you create and the story you tell. This has been your comprehensive look at the upcoming Fujifilm X-T6. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.